can Richard maybe share some of what his policy agenda would be?
Regarding what? Small business?
Well, our interest, maybe I should just for calibration sakes, our interests are sustainable local economy, particularly as the Hanford cleanup winds down. And so, a lot of money going into the cleanup. A lot of the folks around here represent the Hanford subcontracting community. And a number of companies here, too, have kind of grown from small businesses to and use their experience, resumes from the work at Hanford to attract work outside of Hanford. So we have small businesses here, we have large businesses here. Energy Solutions is a global company. Floor Government Services, Jay Decker joined a little bit late. And we, between the Vistas and the Freestone, and Staff Augsts, it's a whole range. So we're particularly interested, I guess, to put Anthony's comments and questions about your gender positions that might, lead to a more sustainable local economy.
Well, for years you've been working at diversifying. I became aware of the community when I married my wife in 1969. So that was, for Seattle people, we really didn't know too much about Richland other than they went to the basketball tournament every year and beat us. So yeah, when I came down here and became aware of the area and its economic base, obviously it's strictly nuclear and heavy with the federal end. And of course, as time has moved on, you've tried to diversify, knowing that the government's going to go away, or in large part, it's going to go away. The agriculture in the area has grown tremendously in the last 20 or 30 years. That's going to continue to grow, as far as I can see, unless we start building out, taking up the crop circles and building houses, continuing on out as we have done, which may not be the smartest thing to do. Diversifying the economy, one area that I really think that we can use more of, and people laugh at me when I say this, but you need more arts, you need more culture. I happen to have everything but the thesis for a master's degree in theater and drama. I work with the local theater organizations. I'd like to see a theater, professional theater built in the area. Not a performing arts center, that's something separate. But I want to see a professional theater built here that looks sort of like Ashland, Oregon. Ashland, Oregon's budget is $36 million a year. And you multiply that out by a factor of 10 as that money filters down through the economy, and you're looking at a large influx of money that we could have here. People don't need to necessarily just come here to play golf. They can come down here for some arts and culture. You set up a theater, you've got, you can maybe run 3 shows, 4 shows in that space, 2 shows a day. Somebody stays here for 3 days, $125 a night for hotel room, or maybe more. Somebody comes in and they set up a bed and breakfast, or 2 bed and breakfasts, or 6 bed and breakfasts. And then people are bringing in restaurants, so you're increasing your restaurants. So you're using the theater, the performing arts, to build an economic base around it. You can supplement that by bringing in other types of artists. There's a little artist colony down in Balboa Park in San Diego, where they've got studio space. Artists are actually there doing art. People come in, they watch the people do the art, and then there's a studio right next to it. So they buy it. So you put that near the theater, and you got people coming to the theater. They're going to have some wine, so that ties into the wine industries around.
Oh, good. Thank you, Richard. I think the question is of general interest to everyone, Larry. So,
okay.
What's your views?
Economic development. what I have done for economic development and I hope to do in the future is to continue to support your organizations, not only for Hanford work, but also for the Mid-Columbia Engineering Initiative. That deals with small modular reactors. I'd like to have a breeder reactor, but anyway, in my backyard. But anyway,
Even a small one.
yeah, even a small one. And this summer, I got what was left of the legislature, because 1/6 of us have left for other things permanently, and others have just were not available. But I got about 1/3 to a little bit more than that of all the legislators that were present to sign on to the SMR, Small Modular Reactor Initiative. I also wrote a letter at the request of Gary Peterson and Keith Klein dealing with the Small Business Administration and some of the rulings that are going to damage new contractors here by the Department of Energy is considering. I stand firmly against what the Department of Energy is trying to do here. This is more of what I've seen when I worked for a contractor at the Hanford site. No offense, Keith, but headquarters is a little rough on this city, and they're a little more generous with other cities around this country, namely Los Alamos and Oak Ridge. But I think that these two letters show that I've taken leadership in trying to promote the initiatives that are critical to you. Also, the STEM high school in this area I've fully supported. It is probably the model for the rest of this state, and we see state leaders coming constantly to our STEM high school saying, what can we steal from Phil Wool and his stuff that he's doing? Because Eric Pettigrew, who's a good friend of mine, 25% of his students graduate from high school in downtown Seattle, and that's acceptable to the Seattle School District. It's not acceptable to everybody else. So he would like to set up a STEM high school or STEM high schools. So, you know, we're going to have to do some modification of the law if it's not modified this year through the initiative to accommodate those school districts that have real low graduation rates for their students. I also, in teaming with Shirley Hankins and Jerome Delvin, brought two separate issues. The first one was the Cadillac Medical Training Center, CBC, which we have up there. That was my first year, got $6 million for that capital. The second one, or the third one, was Shirley and I teamed to get $5 million or $6 million for the infrastructure so that PNNL would not move its labs away from here as the headquarters, DOE headquarters wanted to. And then also Jerome and I teamed this year, me in the House, because the House was in control initially of the capital budget as well as the overall budget. The House Republican Caucus, we issued a budget in protest as well as in setting priorities, which had never been done before in our legislature. But Jerome and I got the money for the Wine Science Center that issued Health Economic Development.
Thank you, Larry.